Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, October 28th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap last night's Thursday night football game between the Bucs and the Ravens and look ahead to the rest of the Week 8 slate. And then we have college football, Week 9 coming up. We'll recap yesterday's games, look ahead to tonight and Saturday. NBA, NHL, World Series Game 1. Major League Soccer playoffs, conference finals this weekend. We have golf and NASCAR, news and notes, best bet, and Fab 5. So big show today. We'll start with Thursday night football. Interesting game to say the least as the Baltimore Ravens come out on top by a score of 27-22. Baltimore's 5-3. Tampa is 3-5. Lamar Jackson 27-38, 238 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Tom Brady 26 of 44, 325 yards and a touchdown. But a lot of that was in garbage time in that second half after the Ravens put the game away. And now we look ahead to the weekend. We have a game in London, 9:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN+. It is the Broncos and it is the Jaguars. It's a Jaguars home game. Russell Wilson's going to play. So that is good news for Denver. Because I thought Ripken wasn't any greater shakes than what Russell Wilson's been. But the Jaguars are atrocious. So if there's any defense for Russ to cook against, it could be this one. If you're making a case for Denver. Jacksonville's favored by 2.5. Total is 39.5. I project Pick'em and 36 in the fifth. So 2.5 edge towards Denver and an over 2 edge on the under. So the under's a pick for me. And who's going to win this game? I think both teams need the game. This is definitely a loser leaves town match. I think Hackett could lose his job if they lose this game because there's word that his job is in doubt. As crazy as that sounds. So, I don't know who wins. If at gunpoint, I would say Denver. But it could be Jacksonville. But the podcast play is going to be the under. Next up, 1 o'clock on Fox, you have the Panthers and the Falcons. The Falcons are favored by 4. Total is 41.5. I'm laying the points at Atlanta. I know that there are some injuries that they are dealing with right now, but they're just better than Carolina. Like, I am not taking P.J. Walker getting 4. I'm sorry. He stinks. So, give me the Falcons -4. I know I'm not the biggest Marcus Mariota fan either, but I trust him more than I trust P.J. freaking Walker. I project 8.5 and 43 7/20. Next up is the Bears and the Cowboys from Dallas. The Cowboys are 9.5-point favorites. Total is 42.5. I'm taking the under here too. This is a bet on the Cowboys defense here. They're just so good. Micah Parsons is questionable. I think he's going to play. He's a tough son of a gun. So I like the under. I project 9.5 and 39 1/10. So no second choice because my line is their line. All right, next up, the Dolphins at the Lions on CBS. Miami's a favorite by 3.5 points. Total is 51.5. Very tough in terms of where to go because my projection's 4-50 and 3/5. So, half-point edge on the Dolphins and almost a 1-point edge on the under. So, I guess under's the pick here too, but it's a slight under. Although I'm surprised that the total's that high. Because of the Tua situation and whatnot. Next up, You have the Cardinals and the Vikings on Fox. The Vikes are giving 3.5. The total is 48.5. I love the Minnesota Vikings here. Love them. They're much better than the Cardinals. They're better coached than the Cardinals. This is totally disrespectful to a team that has one loss, and their one loss came against the best team in their conference in Philadelphia on a Monday night when Kirk Cousins turned into primetime Kirk. This game's not in primetime. This game is in normal time where Kirk Cousins tends to play well. Give me Minnesota all day, every day, minus the 3.5 against the Cardinals. Next up on CBS, you have the Raiders at the Saints. Should be a fun one in New Orleans. The Raiders are giving 1.5. The total is 49.5. I project 1 and 52 and 9/10. And by the way, I have mini by 9.5, total 45 and 3/20. I got excited with the big edge on Minnesota. So for this one, I have a 2.5 point edge on the Saints. And over 3-point edge on the over. So the over's the pick here. I like the over a lot. I like the over much better than the Saints. I think this is going to be a super high-scoring game, very entertaining game. Andy Dalton starting, but I still like the over. New Orleans defense isn't very good, neither is the Raiders. So I think both teams can get to the 30s here. Next up, you have the Patriots and the Jets from MetLife Stadium. The Patriots are giving 2.5. The total is 40.5. I love the Jets. I think a lot of people are writing them off after losing Breece Hall and Elijah Vera Tucker to season-ending injuries. I think that they can overcome it for at least this week offensively because the Patriots' defense is not very good. And the fact that the Bears did that to them, the Jets, even without those guys, are more talented offensively than the Chicago Bears. So give me the Jets getting the points, and I like them to win outright too. I project Jets 5.5, total 42 and 13/20. The Battle of Pennsylvania, Steelers-Eagles on CBS. This should be the Nance Romo game, even though the Steelers have underachieved this year. Although they might be in MetLife. That wouldn't surprise me either. The Eagles are giving 10.5. The total is 43.5. I love the Eagles. The addition of Robert Quinn, I think, will be amazing for them defensively. I think they're much better than the Steelers. I think this is a Philly party. The city of Philadelphia is going to be going nuts this whole weekend with the Phillies starting the World Series. And then they have this Eagles game against their in-state rival. And then Sunday night, we'll get into it in the MLS segment. They have the Union. So that town is going to be pumped all weekend long. I think the Eagles are just going to carry the momentum. I absolutely love them in this spot, laying the double digits at home against Pittsburgh. My projection for this game is 17 and 41 and 7/20. So I think this is Eagles all day, every day. 4 o'clock window on CBS at 4:05. You have the Texans hosting the Titans. The Titans are given 2.5. Total is 40.5. I love Tennessee. Love them. Yeah, there's some key guys that might be missing the game for them. Obviously, no Treylon Burks. I mean, potentially no Tannehill too, which would make me a little nervous. But I'm still going to lay the 2.5 with Tennessee anyway. Tannehill is questionable for now. So I'm going to lay the 2.5 with the Titans. I project 6.5 and 41 and 13. Or I'm sorry, I did the math wrong there. 17/20, it's there. So I'm going to lay it with the Titans, but without Tannehill, that would go to 2.5. Next up, 4:25 on Fox. You have the Commanders at the Colts. The Colts are 3-point favorites. Total's 39.5. I love Indy. I think that the quarterback change can do them wonders. I think that it could motivate the team. Looks like Shaq Leonard's going to play. I still don't trust Taylor Heineke. I think he is somebody that is just like blah. I feel like he's so mediocre. But I could be wrong, and Washington could just blow it in my face again with Heineke. But I'm going to lay the points with Indy against Washington. I project 7.5 and 38 and 3/20. So, there you go. Next, 49ers Rams. This looks like the Kevin Burkhardt, John Lynch game. Or John Lynch. Oh my God. John Lynch is the Niners GM. Greg Olson. It's funny that I still do that. The Niners are favored by 1.5. Totals 42.5. I like the Rams. Do or die for the Rams for me. This is a must game. I think the loser of this game is out of the division contention. I don't get why the Niners are favored. I know Shanahan owns McVay, yada yada. They're getting Van Jefferson back. I know he's no great shakes, but I still like the spot for the Rams at home to remind people, hey, we're Super Bowl champions. Don't forget about us. So this is, I think, my last stance on the Rams. So give me the +1.5 and even money to win outright. Giants Seahawks from Seattle, probably the best game of the day. The Seahawks are 3-point favorites. Totals 44.5. I don't like the pick because I think the shoe's going to drop at some point. It could be this week at Seattle, hostile crowd. The numbers say I have to go with the Giants. I don't like the pick. I don't know if I'm going to pick them for money line again. We'll see. But Giants +3 is not going to be in Fab 5. I could guarantee you that. So I'm going to take the Giants, getting the 3 as the play here. I think they might win. At gunpoint, I think they probably lose. Just as an observer, but Seattle's great. Like, it's a great story. These are the best 2 stories in the league, the Giants and Seattle, to me. So, give me the Giants getting the 3. Maybe they win 2. They're +134 to win outright. And I project Giants by 3, total 46 and 7/20. And last but not least, Sunday Night Football, 8 o'clock NBC, Packers, Bills. Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth on the call. You have the Bills hosting the Packers. Bills are favored by 10.5, totals 47.5. I love the under. I know it's hard to pick unders in Bills games because of the explosiveness of their offense. But I just don't see Green Bay having success offensively against the Bills defense that's starting to get healthy. So I like the under in this game a lot. I project 9.5 and 41. And we'll save Monday night for Monday night. We'll move on to college now. Interesting games last night. And we'll look ahead to the weekend as well. So we had 3 games last night. Number 24, NC State over Virginia Tech, 22-21. NC State is 6-2. Virginia Tech's 2-6. Southern Miss over Louisiana, 39-24. Southern Miss is 5-3. Louisiana is 4-4. And number 14, Utah over Washington State, 21-17. So how about this? 3-0 in the picks I gave out yesterday. I didn't bet any of them. Utah is 6-2. Wazoo is 4-4. All right, 2 games tonight, 8 o'clock on ESPN2. You have East Carolina, BYU. Interesting game. East Carolina is 1 win away from bowl eligibility, which is big for that program. BYU's been disappointing this year. BYU is favored in this game by 3.5. The total is 63.5, so the total went up from a couple of days ago. My projections here say 9.5 and 58 and 9/10. Don't like the pick, but I'm going to lay it with BYU. I think this is a get-right spot for them. A little bit of a letdown for ECU after the big win last week. So give me BYU minus the 3.5 at home against East Carolina. And on CBS Sports Network tonight, also at 8 o'clock, you have Louisiana Tech and FIU. Louisiana Tech's giving 6.5. The total is 57.5. My projection's 10 in favor of FIU, which is crazy. Total 61 and a fifth. This is ridiculous. I like FIU a lot, getting the 6.5, and I like them to win outright too. They're plus 198. And here comes the Saturday games. Here's a fun one. 12 o'clock on Fox. Number 2, Ohio State at number 13, Penn State. A rare day game for this Big Ten rival. Ohio State in this game is favored by 14.5. Total is 60.5. I'm going to take Penn State getting the points. Everyone, their mother's on Ohio State. I think Penn State is a team that is playing for a lot. They are low-key still in play for a big bowl game. I don't know if they're in play for a college football playoff per se because that conference is so loaded. I do think Ohio State will win this game, but I really think that Penn State is going to show up and play hard. So give me the Nittany Lions getting the big number at home against Ohio State. ESPN, number 7, TCU at West Virginia. This is another fun one. TCU is giving 7.5. Total is 68.5. And by the way, I project for Penn State and Ohio State. I project Ohio State by 7. Total 58 and 2/5. So 7.5 and 68.5. And I project 7 and 70. I hate that this line is not bigger. Because I really want to bet on West Virginia. I think this could be a trap for TCU. TCU has been a fun story. I don't know if they're the team to beat in the Big 12. I like Oklahoma State a lot in the Big 12. I don't think Texas is back. Oklahoma's been a disappointment. Kansas has fallen off. West Virginia's the Jekyll and Hyde team. They're the worst team in the Big 12 probably, but they're also the Jekyll and Hyde team in a way. But for the sake of the podcast, in terms of a play to give out, I'm going to give out a slight lean towards the over in this game. ABC, Notre Dame at number 16, Syracuse. Syracuse is giving 2.5. The total is 47.5. A lot of people like Notre Dame for some reason in this game. Maybe a lot of people don't like Syracuse. I feel like it's like a hatred towards Syracuse and favoritism towards overrated Notre Dame. But for the same reasons, in terms of like tightening numbers, I project 3.5 and 48 3/4. Slight overs the pick. And I'm also going to go with the slight lean to Syracuse. I want to bet on Syracuse, too. It's like with West Virginia. I want to bet on Syracuse, but my numbers are too close to actually do it. Next, SEC Network, Arkansas and Auburn. Arkansas is giving 3.5, total 62.5. So I have nice edges. So like a little more than a 4.5 point edge on the under, and on Auburn, I have a 6-point edge. So I'm going to take Auburn getting the points. I feel like this is the spot where Arkansas strips up. They're plus 134. This is the last time I hope to pick Auburn on the show to win outright, but here we are. Fox Sports 1, Oklahoma and Iowa State. Oklahoma's a 1.5 point favorite. Total is 56.5. I hate this pick so much. I hate it with every bit of my bone. I'm laying it with Oklahoma. This is like a last stance kind of pick for them as well. I have a nice edge. I have 7 and 51 and 9/20. It's, by the way, the Auburn game. I have Auburn 3.5 total, 57 and 19/20. So I'm going to lay the 1.5 with OU. And I also like the under in this game as well. Next, CBS Sports Network, Boston College, UConn. BC's a 7.5 point favorite. Total is 44.5. This line moved a couple points. I think a lot of people are betting on UConn because this is actually a big game for UConn. And UConn's a team that was a dumpster fire for so long, and now they're showing signs of improvement. My numbers say 7.5 and 48 3/4, so I really like the over in this game. Next, ACC Network, Georgia Tech and Florida State. Florida State's giving 24.5. Total is 47.5, so that line went up a couple points from last I saw it. I hate the pick, but I'm taking Georgia Tech just to cover. It's a small number, or not a small number, but I think it's going to be like a smaller result than that number suggests. So give me Georgia Tech getting 24.5. I project 13 and 48. ESPN2, South Florida, Houston. Houston's giving 17.5. The total is 59.5, so the total went down a couple of points. I like the over. I think this is a higher scoring game. Houston, we know the Holgerson offense, and they like to score. I think that USF can potentially get to the high 20s too. I project 15 and 63 and 3/10. So give me the over. Next, ESPNU, Toledo, Eastern Michigan. Toledo's giving 6.5. The total is 54.5. So that total went down big time. Like, there must be like an injury or something. So I have a 6.5 point edge on Eastern. And a larger edge on the over, like a little above 6.5 on the over. So I do like the over in this game, and I also like Eastern Michigan, but the podcast play is going to be the over. So my projection, pick and 61 and 3/20. Miami of Ohio, Akron, more action. Miami of Ohio's favorite 8.5 total is 50.5. That total went up. Whew. Also, we're all ready to bet the over. Nope. I have to take stupid Akron again to cover. I feel like Akron is a play I gave out every freaking week on this show. But they cover. They cover. They really do cover. And I promise next week I want to announce my records and stuff this year in terms of giving out picks. All right, next up, 12:30, you have Miami and Virginia. Miami's favored by 2.5. Totals 48.5. I like Virginia getting the 1.5. They're plus 110 outright. I project. Oh wait, never mind. I thought I had Virginia as a favorite. Never mind. Scratch that. I project Miami 1.5. Total 46 and 3/4. I thought that said Virginia 1.5. I'm an idiot. Slight under is the play here. And then a slight lean to Virginia. Although I do think that Virginia can win that game. 2 o'clock, Charlotte Rice. Rice is giving 16.5. Total is 59.5. Give me Charlotte getting the big number. Will they get a boost because of the coaching change? I don't know. I project Rice 6. Total 63.75. Big Ten Network at 2:30. Rutgers, Minnesota. Should be an interesting game. Obviously, Rutgers is playing for bowl eligibility. Minnesota's giving 13.5. The total is 40.5. I like the over. I think Minnesota and Rutgers are going to score more points than that number indicates. I project 9 and 46 and 17/20. Or not 17/20. I read that wrong. 7/20. Oh my God. 3 o'clock, Old Dominion, Georgia State. Georgia State's giving 3.5. Total is 57.75. Oops. I read my projection. That's bad. I project 5 and 57 and 7/20. I don't know why I just said 3/4. Georgia State's favored by 3.5. Total is 54.5. I like the under. Oh my God, the over. Oh my God. Like, that's crazy. I'm reading the wrong numbers. So, I like the over in that game. Again, the projection, Georgia State 5, total 57 and 7/20. 3:30, CBS, Florida, number 1 Georgia, from Jacksonville. Georgia's giving 22.5. Total is 56.5. Give me Florida getting the points. I think that they'll hang around a little bit. I project 15 and 55 and 3/20. Fox Sports 1, number 8, Oregon at Cal. Oregon's giving 17.5. Total is 58.5. Give me Cal getting the points. I project 9 and 58 and 13/20. Number 9, Oklahoma State at number 22, Kansas State on Fox. That's a big one. A big game in the Big 12. Elimination game for Oklahoma State, potentially, when it comes to their college football playoff hopes. They're a 1.5-point underdog. This game was a pick'em last I checked. Total 55.5. This is a hard one. I like the over a lot. I project Oklahoma State 2.5, total 60 and 17/20. Number 10, Wake Forest at Louisville. Big game for Wake. They're favored by 3.5, total 63.5. I project 3.5 and 56 and 11/20. So give me the under. Number 17, Illinois at Nebraska on ABC. This is a monster game for Illinois. Big Ten West hopes. They need this game for that reason and a lot of other reasons. They're a 7.5-point favorite. Total is 50.5. I love Nebraska with 7 in the hook. I think that Nebraska is going to show up and out. I'm not a huge Nebraska person, but I am here. I project Pick'em and 47 and 19/20, and I'm willing to take plus 230 for them to win outright too. ESPN, number 20, Cincinnati at UCF. UCF is a 1.5-point favorite, total 55.5. That's disrespectful to Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati plus 1.5 and plus 102 outright. Flat out disrespectful. Cincinnati has one loss, and they're in play for the New Year's Six Bowl. Why in planet's God named Earth is UCF? Oh, UCF's really good, too. They're playing for New Year's Six as well. Like, you can't rule out UCF. Like, maybe I'm disrespecting them a little bit. But I just think Cincinnati's so much more talented. I project them by 5.5 total, 56 and 13/20. And they're plus 102 outright, too. ESPN2 Northwestern and Iowa. Iowa's giving 10.5 total, 37.5. Give me Iowa minus the points. I project 14 and 38 and 2/5. New Mexico State and UMass. That's a garbage game, as I like to say. Throw it in the garbage. Mexico State's favored by 1.5 total, 38.5. I like the over. That's too low for a total. I project UMass by 2 total, 44. Next, CBS Sports Network, Temple Navy, another garbage game. Navy's favored by a whopping 13.5 totals, 40.5. Give me Temple getting all those points. I project Navy 4.5 total, 44 and 9/10. SMU Tulsa. SMU's a 2.5 point favorite, total 64.5. Give me Tulsa plus a 2.5 and plus 108 outright. I project Tulsa by a whopping 10.5, total 64 and 1/10. I just don't like this SMU team at all. Robert Morris and App State. I project App State 47, total 53 and 13/20. North Texas, Western Kentucky. Western's favored by 9.5, total 69.5. I like the under. I project Western 10, total 64 and 7/10. 4 o'clock. Missouri at number 25, South Carolina. South Carolina's giving 3.5, total 45.5. This is the rare instance where I'm not going to bet on the team that's an underdog against a newly ranked team. I'm just not. I think Missouri stinks. I project 9.5 and 52 and 11/20. It's give me South Carolina. They have the better quarterback in Desmond Ridder. I think this is South Carolina's game to lose. So give me South Carolina minus the 3.5 against Missouri. ESPNU, South Alabama and Arkansas State. South Alabama's giving 9.5, total 54.5. Give me Arkansas State getting the 9.5. I project 7.5 and 55 and 13/20. 7 o'clock, ESPN. Huge game. Number 19, Kentucky against number 3, Tennessee. Huge game. Tennessee's favored by 11.5, total 61.5. I project 8 and 58. So 3.5 point edge on Kentucky, 3.5 point edge on the under. Where do I go? Has to be Kentucky to me because I'm just not betting on unders in Tennessee games. No. Not with that offense and how good it is. I think Kentucky can backdoor. So give me Kentucky plus the 11.5. Tennessee wins though. Pac-12 Network, number 10, USC against Arizona. USC's favored by 15.5, total 76.5. Give me the under. That's way too high of a total. I project 15 and 65 and 7/20. I don't think that Zona's offense is very good. That's an under. Heck, a 40-30 final, still a winner. 40-23 final, which I think is realistic, still a winner. Next up, Colorado State, Boise State on Fox Sports 1. Boise's favored by 27.5, totals 42.5. Give me Colorado State getting the points. I project 13.5 and 43.5. NFL Network, Coastal Carolina, Marshall. Not a bad game for the NFL Network game of the week. Marshall's a 2.5 point favorite, total 55.5. Give me Coastal plus the 2.5 and plus 114 outright. I project Coastal by 5, total 52 and 3/4. CBS Sports Network, UAB and FAU. UAB's favored by 3.5. Total is 46.5. I project 8.5 and 52 and 11/20. So I have a 5-point edge on UAB. And I have an over 6-point edge on the over. So I really like the over in this game. I like the over more than I like UAB. So that's good that the numbers kind of agree with my initial thoughts if we're looking at my numbers. So I like the over in this game. 7:30, ABC, Michigan State at number 4, Michigan. Michigan's favored by 22.5. Totals 54.5. I like Michigan State getting the points. I project 19 and 54 and 3/5. I just think that already hangs around against their rival, even in a night game in Ann Arbor. I just think they backdoor them at the end. That's all. Number 15, Ole Miss at Texas A&M. Ole Miss is favored by 1.5. Totals 54.5. Give me Ole Miss minus the points. I have a 4.5-point edge on Ole Miss and an under 4-point edge on the under. Everyone loves Texas A&M this week. I know they're playing a little bit better. And Jimbo, I know Texas A&M needs this game for bowl purposes, but I like Ole Miss minus the points. They're just better than Texas A&M. I project Ole Miss by 6 total, 50 and 7/10. Next, Arizona State and Colorado on ESPNU. Arizona State's giving 13.5, total 46.5. Give me Colorado getting all those points. They're home. They won't win. I just think that they cover the big number. I project 2.5 in favor of Arizona State, total 52 and 7/10. ESPN2, Baylor, Texas Tech. Texas Tech's giving 2.5, total 62.5. Give me Baylor getting the 2.5. They're plus 110 to win outright. Could be a bounce back spot for Baylor. I project Pick'em in 62 and 2/5. Pitt at number 21, North Carolina at 8 o'clock on the ACC network. UNC's giving 3, total is 65.5. Oh my God. I project 2 and 65 and 19/20. Slight Pitt is the pick. 9 o'clock, Middle Tennessee and UTEP. UTEP's giving 2.5, total is 52.5. I absolutely love UTEP here. Love them. I don't get the Middle Tennessee thing. They're living off that Miami game. My God. I predict 16.5 and 52 and 54 and 19/20. UTEP's a lock. 10:30 ESPN, Stanford at number 12 UCLA. UCLA is giving 16.5, total 66.5. I like the under. I think Stanford's offense stinks. UCLA's defense bounces back a little bit. I project 16.5 and 15 and 3/20. Fox Sports 1, San Diego State, Fresno State. Fresno's giving 8.5, total 40.5. I don't get the Fresno thing at all. Their quarterback's hurt. They're the most overhyped team in terms of group of fives, let alone Mountain West teams before the season. Give me San Diego State getting all those points. They're plus 275 outright. Give me that too. I project San Diego State by 8, total 44 and 3/5. That is insane to me. Nevada, San Jose State on CBS Sports Network. San Jose State's giving 24.5, totals 44.5. Giving Nevada getting the points. I project 15.5 and 44.25. I just think that's too many points. And last but not least, Wyoming and Hawaii. Wyoming's giving 10.5, total is 50.5. Give me Hawaii getting the points. I project 7.5 and 50 and 13/20. Okay, now I'll move on to the NBA. Sorry, the college segment took a little longer than I wanted it to go, but that's the case every week. We'll do the usual. Quickly go over the games from last night and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Mavs over the Nets, 129-125 in overtime. Thunder over the Clippers, 118-110. Warriors over the Heat, 123-110. Grizz over the Kings, 125-110. All right, 7 o'clock. We have the Hawks and the Pistons from Detroit again. Pistons won best bet for me the other day. I don't know if that'll be the case again. Don't think so. The Hawks are giving 6.5 total, 229. I like the under this time. I just think it's a lower scoring game. I project 5.5 and 224. Hornets Magic from Orlando. The Hornets are 2-point favorites, total 220.5. Hornets are favored because Orlando is missing a lot of guys. I project Orlando 1, total 224. And 7/20. So I really like the over in this game a lot. Charlotte's a really good offensive team. I like the over. 7:30, Celtics. I almost said Cavs Magic. Oops. Celtics are 6-point favorites, total 218. I project 5.5 and 218 and 7/20. So slight lean Celtics. Sixers Raptors from Toronto. Philly's a 1-point favorite, total 213. Oh my God, the wrong team is favored. Give me the Raptors +1 and -102 outright. I project Raptors by 5, total 216 and a 20th. Raptors are going in an underdog parlay tonight for me personally. ESPN tonight, Pacers Wizards. Bad game for ESPN. They probably should have picked either Cavs Celtics or Sixers Raptors for the ESPN game, not this stupid game. Wizards are giving 5, totals 229. I project 9.25 and 225 and 9/20. So about a 3.5-point edge on the under and a more than 4-point edge on the Wiz. So I'm laying the 5 with the Wiz against Indiana. 8 o'clock, Knicks Bucks. This, you could have made a case for this being on ESPN. But I think this game was on ESPN last year. Or maybe this matchup's on ESPN later in the year. Wouldn't surprise me. Bucks are favored by 6, total 223. I project 7 and 219 and 19/20. I like the under. I think this is the game where the Bucks defense might win them this game. So give me the under. Lakers Timberwolves. Wolves are favored by 7.5, total 229.5. I love the Wolves. Betting against the Lakers is so much fun. I project 12.5 and 226 and a 5th. 8:30, Bulls Spurs from San Antonio. Bulls favored by 4.5, total 229.5. I project 6.5 and 227 and 7/20. I like the under. Jazz Nuggets at 9. Nuggets are giving 8, total 30.5. Give me the Nuggets. I project 18.5 and 227.25. Pelicans Suns on ESPN. Great game. Great game for ESPN. Sucks no Brandon Ingram, but I still think it's going to be a great game. Even because of Zion and CJ. Even without Ingram, it's a great game. And this is a playoff rematch too, so that should be fun. The Suns are favored by 7, total 224. I project 5.5 and 224 and a 5th, so slight lean to the Pelicans. And last but not least, the Rockets and the Blazers. Blazers are favored by 4, total 222.5. I project 3/4 for Portland and 225 and 3/20. Give me Houston plus the 4. I think they can win outright. They're plus 156. No Dame makes me nervous for the Blazers. Saturday, 6 o'clock, Heat Kings, 7 o'clock, Warriors Hornets, 7:30, Pacers Nets, 8 o'clock, NBA TV, Sixers Bulls, Hawks Bucks, Thunder Mavs at 9, and Grizzlies Jazz. Sunday, 3 o'clock, you have the Pelicans and the Clippers, so a day game at Crypto. And then 6 o'clock, Wizards Celtics, Knicks Cavs, Warriors Pistons. 7 o'clock, NBA TV, Timberwolves Spurs. 7:30, Magic Mavs. 9 o'clock, Rockets Suns. And 9:30 of the Nuggets and the Lakers. So a doubleheader from Crypto tomorrow. Sunday. All right, NHL. We'll go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend's games. Bruins over the Red Wings 5-1, so best bet was a winner. Canadians over the Sabres 3-2. Wild over the Sens 4-2. Flyers over the Panthers 4-3. Preds over the Blues 6-2. Oilers over the Blackhawks 6-5. Stars over the Capitals 2-0. Canucks over the Kraken 5-4. Jets over the Kings 6-4. And the Sharks over the Leafs 4-3 in OT on a game winner by Erik Karlsson. All right, 6 games tonight. 6 o'clock, you have the Ducks and the Golden Knights from Vegas. So that is a matinee game in Vegas, which is crazy. They're minus 280. The Ducks are plus 225 over under 6.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 102. Vegas minus 1.5 is minus 122. I like the over. Overs and Ducks games are the way to go. 7 o'clock, Islanders, Hurricanes. Canes are minus 205. Islanders are plus 168 over under 5.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Isles plus 1.5 is minus 162. Canes minus 1.5 is plus 132. I like the under a lot. This is an Ilya Sorokin pick of the under. I don't know if they'll win, but I think that's an under. Bruins, Blue Jackets. Bruins minus 150. Jackets plus 125 over under 6.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Bruins minus 1.5 is plus 152. Columbus plus 1.5 is minus 192. I'm going with an upset. Let's go with Columbus to knock off Boston. Second of a back-to-back. I think Columbus can upset Boston. Avalanche Devils. Avs minus 142. Devils plus 118. Over under 7. Overs plus 122. Unders minus 150. Avs minus 1.5 is plus 158. Devils plus 1.5 is minus 196. I'm stunned that the Avs puck line isn't 2.5 in this one. I think this is a blowout. Give me Avs minus 1.5 at plus 158 in New Jersey against the Devils. 10 o'clock, Penguins, Canucks. Penguins minus 194. Canucks plus 160. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Pittsburgh minus 1.5 is plus 144 or plus 142. Vancouver plus 1.5 is minus 178. Obviously, Vancouver's on the second of a back-to-back. I'm going Pittsburgh regulation minus 111. I think that I know Vancouver just had their first win of the year. I just don't think they're going to follow it up with a win on the second of a back-to-back. Give me Pittsburgh in regulation at minus 111. 10:30, Jets, Coyotes from Arizona. Jets minus 152, Coyotes plus 126, over under 6.5, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Jets minus 1.5 is plus 164. Coyotes plus 1.5 is minus 210. I like this one a lot. Give me the Jets in regulation at plus 102. They're just better than Arizona. Flat out. Saturday, 2 o'clock, Rangers, Stars. 4 o'clock, Sens, Panthers. 4:30, Lightning, Sharks. 7 o'clock, Blackhawks, Sabres, Wild, Red Wings. Leafs, Kings, Canes, Flyers, Canadians, Blues. 7:30, Avs, Islanders. 8 o'clock, Caps, Preds. 10 o'clock, Oilers, Flames, and Penguins, Kraken. Sunday, 2 o'clock, Blue Jackets, Devils. 7 o'clock, Wild, Blackhawks. 8 o'clock, Leafs, Ducks. Rangers, Coyotes, and Jets, Golden Knights. All right, World Series, Game 1. I'm sorry it took this long to get to the World Series, but here we are. You have the Astros and the Phillies from Philadelphia, 8 o'clock on Fox. You have Joe Davis. You have, I'm blanking on his name. Oh, my God. Smoltz. And so Kevin Burkhart's travel schedule will be Houston, L.A., Philly. So he has a busy weekend unless they move the announcers around for Sunday. Maybe Kenny Albert gets to call the late afternoon game with Greg Olson, or Joe Davis gets. But that wouldn't make sense. Joe Davis isn't going to do football. So I guess that Kevin Burkhardt will just have a busy travel day. Or does Matt Frisk, Vest Surgeon, randomly do studio for maybe Game 3 or Game 2? We'll see. So, the Astros are minus 166. The Phillies are plus 140. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 128. Unders plus 104. Phillies plus 1.5 is minus 164. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 136. I like the under. I think Aaron Nola and Justin Verlander will both pitch amazing games. I think the bullpens will stay through. I think this is a 3-2 game either way. So give me under 6.5 at plus 104. It could be a 2-1 game for what we know. And then Saturday at 8 o'clock on Fox is Game 2. The starters for this one will be Zach Wheeler and you would think Jose Urquidy, right? Or Framber Valdez. I think it's going to be Framber Valdez in Game 2. And then we'll do Game 3 on the Monday podcast. Okay, now move on to Major League Soccer playoffs. We have the conference finals this weekend. First of 2 games, 3 o'clock on ABC. Austin at LAFC. Should be a really fun game. In LA. They're a huge favorite, minus 220. Wait. It says the away team's favored. But that's not right. LAFC should be a bigger favorite than that. This is kind of wrong. LAFC should be favored. And Austin is plus 440. The draw is plus 360. Like, that's weird. No way LAFC's that big of a home dog. If anything, they should be that big of a home favorite. Or does FanDuel just have it completely wrong? So, I'm going to check DraftKings real quick. Yeah, that's much better. LAFC minus 205, Austin plus 450, draw plus 350. That's DraftKings, so FanDuel just has the away home wrong, but we get it. So for this game, I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 108. LAFC is a high-scoring team. Best player on the field will be Carlos Vela of LAFC. He's amazing. So I like the over in this game, and I think that I will say even LAFC in ET at 9-1 is a good bet too. Because I don't think this is going to penalty kicks. I think LAFC and ET at 9-1 is a great bet. But for the pick for the game, I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 108. And I do like that 9-1 a lot as well. And then on Fox Sports 1, you have NYCFC at the Philadelphia Union. DraftKings Union's minus 120, NYCFC's plus 290, draw plus 260. But the Union is minus 125 on FanDuel. So there's more value on them on DraftKings than on FanDuel. But my play is going to be under 2.5 goals at plus 106. Or I'm sorry, at minus 106. I just think that the goalies in this game are going to be unreal. And I think the goalie of Philadelphia is the best in the league. He obviously won the goalie of the year. And I think that he's just going to really play well. Andre Blake. I think he's going to be amazing in this game. And the goalie for NYCFC, Seth Johnson, he is their team captain. I think this is going to be a great game. I really like under 2.5 goals at minus 106. I think this is a 1-0 or 2-0 game. Either way, I wouldn't be shocked if it's 1-1 and it goes to kicks. So would that count for the under? I think, right? Because that's like betting the shootout in a way in hockey. Because that's just weird. But that is banking on a potential kicks. So method and victory, Philadelphia in Pens is 10-1. I kind of think that's where it's going to go. And that's where I think that Blake makes the difference. So Philadelphia and Pens is 10-1. I really like that. But under 2.5 goals at minus 106 is fun too. I can see this being 0-0 going into kicks or 1-1 going into kicks. And I think that would count for the under. So I'd go under 2.5 goals, and I would bet Philly and Pens at 10-1 as well. All right, now we're quickly going to go over the leaderboard for the tournament going on right now, the Bermuda Championship. In first right now at 14 under, Ben Crane. Tied for second with 13 under, Adam Schenk and Aaron Baddeley. Fourth with 12 under, Benjamin Griffin. Tied for fifth with 11 under, Seamus Power, Ben Martin. I'm going to go through notables because we don't have a lot of time. Tied for ninth with 10 under, Scott Brown. Robbie Shelton tied for 14th with 9 under. Austin Smotherman, Chengson Pond, Richie Wierenski, Chasen Hadley. Tied for 20th with 8 under. Evan Van Roy and Dylan McCarthy, Nate Taylor, Nate Watney. Tied for 26th with 7 under. Justin Lauer, Harry Higgs, Tyler Duncan, Alex Smalley, Robert Streb, Joseph Brimlett, Scott Harrington. Tied for 39th with 6 under. Brian Stewart, Patrick Rogers, Max McGreevy, Nate Hardy, MJ Dauphe, Camilo Vegas, Austin Cook, Vincent Taylor. Tied for 50th with 5 under, Russell Knox, Grayson Chalmers, Lucas Glover, Matthias Schwab, Matt Trainer, Nate Lashley, Cam Piercy, Patrick Knowles, Andrew Novak, Will Gordon. Tied for 71st with 4 under, Sam Piercy, Bo Van Pelt, Kevin Tway. Tied for 80th with 3 under, Grayson Higo, Stefan Yeager, Dylan Lingmerth. Tied for 90th with 2 under, Doug Gim, D.A. Points, Henrik Norlander, Callum Tarrant. Sang-Koo Kim tied for 98th with 1 under, Sam Ryder, Mark Hubbard, Kramer Hickok, Michael Giljic, Cam Young, Bryce Garnett, Wesley Bryan. Tied for 115th at even, Chad Ramey, Lucas Donald, DJ Tran, Scott Stevens. Tied for 123rd with 1 over. A small group and nobody of note. And withdrawing from the competition, Tommy Gainey. All right, NASCAR picks for the weekend. They'll be racing from Martinsville this weekend. I don't think the trucks are racing. No, they just have the finale in Phoenix next weekend. So tomorrow on NBC for Martinsville, it's the Xfinity race, 3 o'clock. Go back to DraftKings for the odds. I always say this on the podcast literally every Friday. They have better NASCAR odds than FanDuel. So my pick to win the Dead on Tools 250. I feel like I picked AJ Allmendinger way too much lately. So I'm going to go with Brandon Jones at 12-1 to win the Dead on Tools 250. And then the Cup Series, the Xfinity 500 for Martinsville, 2 o'clock on NBC on Sunday, the 30th. My pick for this race This is a tough one. I'm going to pick a guy that I don't think I've picked all year, and he's 30-1. He's had good history at this track in the past. And he's usually good at the smaller tracks like Martinsville. I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski at 30-1. That's crazy that he's that number. I thought he'd be like 20-1, but he's 30-1. Even at 20-1, I thought he'd be good value. So I'm actually going to lay a fifth of a unit on Brad Keselowski at 30-1. That is a great bet. All right, news and notes time. I'm going to try to be quick here. Because we don't have a lot of time, but big news coming down is that Tom Brady announces his divorce with Gisele Bündchen, and they arrived at the decision to amicably get divorced. He made his statement on social media. This was reported on several outlets by people in the know in the Boston area and in even the Tampa area, but more to the Boston area. This is not surprising. Like I said, this has distracted the team, not just Tom. This has been the weirdest situation we've seen with a star in any sport ever, especially of somebody of Tom's caliber. So I hate to say that I'm not surprised, but I feel sorry for his kids. But this really has affected the Buccaneers season. And what an odd time after losing at home and dropping the 3-5 on the year to announce your divorce. We talked about Russell Wilson starting on Sunday in London against the Jags. More bad news for the Bucs. This is worse than the off the field stuff, obviously. From a team standpoint, Shaq Barrett was carted off the field in the third quarter, and he might have torn his ACL. Todd Bowles says it doesn't look good. That'd be a brutal loss for them. Mark Andrews had a shoulder injury. That didn't matter for the Ravens, but might matter going forward. No Allen Lazard on Sunday night against the Bills. That's brutal for them. And more big news in the NFL is that Jamar Chase is out 4 to 6 weeks due to a hip injury. Brutal news for the Bengals. I think that Cincinnati was turning a corner in a big way and really was starting to look like they put it all together. But it's just brutal that Chase is out. And I still think this is a playoff team. They might even still win that division if he gets back in time and if the Ravens underachieve a little bit. But that is just absolutely brutal for the Cincinnati Bengals. Chiefs acquire Kadarius Toney from the New York Giants for a conditional third and a 6th-round pick. This is a good gamble for the Chiefs, I think, on a former first-round pick. I don't think those picks are going to be good for the Giants because the Chiefs are the Chiefs. And when are you going to get Patrick Mahomes' team picks that are good? Never. So it's a good risk bet for the Chiefs. Where were the Packers on this one? I don't know. I think the Giants honestly traded him to the wrong team. I think it would have worked out better for them if they traded him to Green Bay because then the picks would have probably worked out better. But maybe Green Bay's smart and they know. And this is probably the best offer the Giants can get. So I get it from that perspective. And Toney didn't even play for them this year. So it's not that big of a loss for the Giants personally. And a name that's getting some traction is Jags pass rusher Josh Allen, who's been a little disappointing this year, I think. And really in his career, he was thought out to be a big thing, but he really hasn't been a big thing. Baseball. There are rumors out there that Aaron Judge unfollowed the Yankees on Twitter and Instagram. Meanwhile, there's people on the internet saying that Aaron Judge never even followed them on social media. I think he did, and I think those are just Yankee fans being delusional and saying that he never did, because Aaron Judge probably did. And he probably unfollowed them in case he leaves. And that's, I think, a just-in-case move. It doesn't look good for the Yankees, but don't forget Deebo Samuel unfollowed the 49ers, and guess what? They worked it out with him. So just look at that as a good example, even though that was a different situation because he was trade, not a free agent. So, of course, you see that right away, not even a week after the Yankees season ends. Rafael Devers and the Red Sox are still falling apart on extension talks. Devers is looking for 10 years for 300 plus with free agency a year away. So the Red Sox are going to be in a Judge Yankee situation come next season potentially, unless they trade Devers this winter. The Rockies are eyeing Brandon Nimmo as he's on the preliminary list of free agent targets for the Rockies. Oh my God, that team is just brutal. They whiffed on Chris Bryant. Oh my God. So there's a 2008 trade that nearly happened that could have sent Bryce Harper to the Houston Astros, which is absolutely insane. The Houston Chronicle reported it. Obviously, this was back from when he was on Washington. The Nats would have got back Abraham Toro, Randy Caesar, Josh James, J.B. Bukauskas, and Kent Emanuel. That would have been a steal for Houston. Toro's no good shakes. He's just a role player. J.B. Bukauskas was a nice prospect at the time. But that would have been a money trade for the Astros. The Astros probably would have won several championships if they pulled off that trade. Holy hell. That would have been their version of Golden State getting Kevin Durant. And speaking of the Astros, Will Smith's on their World Series roster replacing Seth Martinez. That's really good. They get an extra reliever for them, who I think could get big outs for them in the series. Great stat on Justin Verlander. He will join Roger Clemens as the only pitchers to start a World Series game in 3 different decades, which is insane. Obviously, Clemens in the 2000s, the 90s, and the 80s, and JV in the 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s, which is insane. All right. Basketball. The NBA will stream Victor Wembanyama's games as they'll be available on the NBA app. That's not surprising. LeBron James made a cryptic post on Instagram amid the Lakers' 0-4 start about being taken for granted. Damian Lillard out a week to 2 with a calf strain. Will be reevaluated in that time frame as well. That's not good news for the Blazers. And I don't think that's a fake injury. I think Dame is legit hurt. Because I think the Blazers were actually looking really good as like a surprise team that could make the playoffs this year in the West before he got hurt. Brian Windhorst reports that Ben Simmons is afraid of being fouled. As he reports, some scouts believe Simmons isn't aggressive because he doesn't want to get fouled. That is ridiculous. And that's not surprising either, honestly. Texas A&M athletic director says that the team is pivoting away from Kanye West's Power song after his recent anti-Semitic remarks. That is not surprising after what took place. Brad Marchand came back for Boston last night against the Red Wings. That is a big boost for them. Some soccer news. So Sophia Smith was named the National Women's Soccer League MVP, the youngest player to ever win the award. That is really cool. And brutal injury for U.S. men's national team. Luca De La Torre, doubtful for the World Cup with thigh injury, keeping him out for 3 weeks. That is not good for soccer. All right, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I know I'm going super long here. This is probably going to go down as one of the longer podcasts I've ever had. All right, so best bet for tonight. It's between college and NBA for me. So I'm going to lay a half unit on college football, and I'm going to take FIU getting the 6.5 at home against Louisiana Tech. I just think that Louisiana Tech shouldn't be favored by that many points against anybody. So give me FIU getting the 6.5 against La Tech. Fab 5 time will start in college. First up, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Penn State. I just think that they're going to be ready to go, and they're not going to win. I just think they'll be competitive at home. Give me Penn State getting the 14.5 at home against Ohio State. Next, for Fab 5, I like Nebraska getting the 7.5 at home against Illinois. I think that Nebraska's going to show up for this game and play really hard. And Illinois, I just think there's a lot of pressure on them to win this game. Number 3 for Fab 5, I'm going to take... I'm kind of staring at the under in the SC Zona game. Kind of do like that under a lot. I don't know if I want to go back to the well with Cal. Certainly not taking Tulsa. Not taking Cincinnati because that might be Vegas knows. I don't want to take Florida. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the under in the SC game. Do I feel good about it? No. Not really. In terms of super duper confidence. But all I'm asking for is like 46-23. That wins. 46-23 is a reasonable final score for this game. That's under. Pick number 4 in the Fab 5. I'm laying it with UTEP against Middle Tennessee. I think Middle Tennessee is still living off that win against Miami. I like UTEP giving 2.5 at home against Middle Tennessee. And then the last pick, I'm taking San Diego State getting 8.5 against Fresno. And I'm going to double down and pick that as my money line pick of the week, too. I just think that San Diego State is not that terrible, and I think Fresno is just grossly overrated. So give me San Diego State getting 8.5 and plus 265 to win the game outright. So again, the college Fab 5, San Diego State getting 8.5 against Fresno, UTEP minus 2.5 against Middle Tennessee, under 76.5 between USC and Arizona. Penn State getting 14.5 at home against Ohio State, and Nebraska getting 7.5 at home against Illinois. So 2 Big Ten games in there for you this week. All right, NFL Fab 5 time. The first pick, I'm going to take the over 49.5 in the Raiders-Saints game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, and both teams, I think, will eclipse 25 points in this game. Second pick, I'm laying the 4 with Atlanta against Carolina. I think that Atlanta is better than Carolina, and Carolina is going to tank. Next pick, Minnesota minus the 3.5 at home against Arizona. I think Minnesota's better than Zona. I think that line's disrespectful to the 5-1 Vikings. So give me the Vikings minus the 3.5. The fourth pick, I want to take Tennessee, but because of the injuries, I'm not. So I'm going to take the Eagles minus the 10.5 at home against the Steelers. Steelers are still missing guys in their secondary, potentially, and I just think the Eagles are so much better, and they have the Philadelphia mojo going. So I'm going to lay points with them. And then the fifth pick of the Fab Five, I thought about taking Cincinnati Monday night, but holding off for that, but no Chase makes me nervous, and division game as well. But instead, I'm going to go to Sunday night and take the under 47.5 between the Packers and the Bills. I could see this game being like, I don't know, 27-13, 30-13, I think is realistic as well. So we'll go with that. And then the money line pick of the week. It came between the New York team. So for the fourth week in a row, I'm going to take a New York team. And this time, it's going to be the Jets. I just think that it's more likely that they win than the Giants, personally. Even though I'm breaking my rule of... but either way, I would have been breaking my rule because it's 2.5 and 3. But I trust them more at home than the Giants on the road. I just think there's some good mojo going with Seattle right now. So I'm just going to stay away from that game and go with the safer bet and the Jets a little bit, even though they're dealing with some injury. So are the Giants. So the Jets are going to be the pick. New England looked bad last week, so the Jets are the money line pick of the week at plus 118 at home against New England. So there you have it. Super long show finally coming to an end. We'll be back Monday recapping everything, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, everyone.